Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuddha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajevam Sadventam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Vishnu Padaya Gura Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Vanayati Namine Nama Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namane Shri Krishna Lirakatane Sudaksham Darya Madhurya Guneshcha Yuktam Puram Vernanyam Purushan Mahantam Narayanam Dvam Shidasanamami Namo Vishnu Padaya Shri Keshava Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vamaneti Namine Gaura Bhavamayo Deha Ujvara Sambhavaka Bhaktivedanta Vamano Rag Bhakti Pravartaka Gurudam Nicha Sevasu Vaishnave Sarvadamati Grante Bhagavate Saksat Gosamivedante Rati Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pushchatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Charya Simha Rupine Shishiman Bhakti Pragyana Keshaveti Namine Hatimacha Charitraya Swashritanam Chapaline Jivaduke Sadartaya Shinama Prema Daine Gaudashraya Vigrahaya Krishna Kamaika Charine Rupanuga Privaraya Vinodenti Swarupine Prabhupadantarangaya Sarva Sargunashaline Maya Vadantamoganaya Vidantartavade Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutare Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Vaishvanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vigyana Daine Prapave Namaha Madhurjvala Premaja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Vrudapasiddhantadvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murte Vipralambara Sambhude Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Kudavya Baba Vumestvam Nirjesta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jaganatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatirubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavidanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaudatvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Mandamater Gati Matsarvasva Parambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kapadrumara Shrimad Nagara Simhasanashto Shrimad Radha Shri Govinda Devo Preshtanebi Sevimano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatatatashitaha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopin Gopinata Shriestuna Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavache Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktanupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Page 28. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Vandamu Isa together Manama Te Jahada Prasade Bhai E Baba Todiya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Vakya Adana Kori Homane Yasha Shri Guru Charane Rate Ese Uttama Gati Ye Prasare Pure Sarva Asha Chakshudan Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu Se Divya Gyan Hriday Prakasito Prema Bhakti Chaha Hoite Adverya Vinasha Jate Tere Gai Jahara Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanat Lokera Jivana Ha Prabhu Koro Daya Deo More Pada Chaya Tua Pade Loinu Sharana Ebegyash Kushuk Tribhuvana Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Page 23. Krishna hoite chaturmukha, hoya Krishna sevan mukha. Brahma hoite nara derumahati, nara hoite vityasa, nara hoite Mahivyasa dasa Purna pragna Padmana bhagavati Nirhari madhava vamshe Akshobhya padama hamse Shishapoli angi karakohore Akshobhyera shishya jaya Tirtaname parichaya Dada dasye jnana sindhu tore Tahoite doya nidhi Dada dasa vidya nidhi Rajendra hoiro tahoite Tahara kinkara jaya Dharma name parichaya Dara dasya jnana balamahate Jaya dharma dasya kyati Shri Purushottama jati Tahoite brahmanya tirta sohuni Vyasati Tara Dasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Tahuite Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Vara Shisha Vara Shri Ishvara Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Kedanya Gauralanya Shri Chaitanya Jagat Guru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Rupanuga Jani Rajivana Vishambara Priyankara Shri Sarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunatahana Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vara Narottama Seva Pada Jara Pada Vishwanatha Hasha Vishwanatha Bhakta Santa Baladeva Jagannatha Jara Priya Shri Bhakti Vinora Mahabhagavata Vada Shri Gorakti Shora Vada Hari Bhajanate Jaram Ora Shiva Shaba Navi Vada Sada Sevya Seva Pada Tada Daitan Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Sarupa Rupanuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragyana Guriya Vedanta Venta Mayavado Tamo Hanta Gauravani Pracharicha Dhamma Pracharira Gauravani Bhakti Vedanta Swami Puranira Prabhupada Kama Kesha Priya Mahajana Vamanana Dayanhana Gauravani Dade Pranandana Esaba Hari Jana Gaurangiran Nijanjana Tarera Uchiste Morakama Jayo Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Page 36 Vrindavana Vasiyato Vaishnavera Gahana Pratame Vandana Kori Sabara Charana Nilachala Vasiyato Mahaprabhu Gana Pumite Podiya Vando Sabara Charana Navadvipa Vasiyato Mahaprabhu Gata Sabara Charana Vando Hoyanurata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Yato Gaurandeshe Stiti Sabara Charana Vando Gauriya Pranati Jedeshe Jedeshe Baise Gaurangera Gahana Udvaba Hukori Vando Sabara Charana Hoyachena Hoy Bena Prabhuyato Dasa Sabara Charana Vando Dante Korigahasha Brahmandaturite Shakti Jade Jane Jane Evera Purane Guna Gaya Jeva Shunim Mahaprabhu Gana Patita Pavana Tai Lobe Mui Papi Lo Inusharanam Sava Shakti Dori Kamo Budi Doshe Kori Dhamma Dacha Kori Tatapi mukera bhagya manera unlasa Dokshakshami moandame koruni jantasa Sarva vancha siri hoy Yama vanda chute Jagate durlaba hoy Premandana lute Manera vasana puna Achirate hoya Devake nandana dasa Elo Bekoya Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Page 200. I like doing the 6 Goswamis too. So be Panchtattva, 6 Goswamis, then the bhajan. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vande Rupa Sanatana Dasara Gunata Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Bhattara Gunata Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya Kori Swarparshada Swiyadama Saha Avatari Atyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Baridana Shikaya Sharanagati Vakatera Prana Danya Atmani Vedana Goprive Varana Avashadakshi Ve Krishna Vishvasa Palana Bhakti Anukula Matra Gaira Svikara Bhakti Pratikula Baba Vajanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Jati Vejahara Tahara Pratana Shune Shinanda Kumara Rupasa Natana Pade Dante Trinakori Bhakati Vinoda Pade Duparadori Kandiya Kandiya Bole Amita Dama Shikaye Sharanagati Garohe Uttama Jaya Swarpashada Jaya Goda Hari Swarpashada Jaya Goda Hari Page 86. Goranga bolite habe Pulaka sharira all together Hari Hari bolite na Yane Benihira Araka Benita Chader Karuna Ibe Samsara Vasanamura Kabetu Chabe Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shurabe Mahana Kabe Hama Erabo Shibrindavana Rupara Gunata Pade Hoi Beyakuti Gabe Hama Buja Bose Yugala Periti Rupara Gunata Pade Rahumora Sham Pratana Karo Yesada Naratamadasa Jayanita Jayago Jayanita Jayago Would anybody like to lead for Krishna? Page 289. Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sucharuvaktраmandanam Sukarnaratna kundalam Suchachitanga chandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sudika netra pankajam Shiki shikandam Udajam Ananga koti mohanam Namami Nandanandanam Sunasikagram Svachanda Danta Panktikam Navambudanga Chinkanam Namami Nandanandanam Karena Venuranjitam Gati Karindra Ganjitam Tukulapita Shobhanam Namami Nandanandanam Tribanga Deha Sundaram Nakadute Sudhakaram Amurya Ratna Bhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Sugandhanga Sarabhamuro Virachi Kostubam Spurachchivatsalancharam Namami Nandanandanam Vrindavana Sunagaram Vilasanugavasasam Surendra Garvamochanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrajangana Sunayakam Sadasuka Pradayakam Jaganmana Pralobhanam Namami Nandanandanam Shri Nandanandanashtakam Paterya Sharayanvita Tare Bhavam Dimdustaram Labetaram Greyukmakam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Jaya Nandan Nandan Jaya Yasoda Nandan 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 Jaya Yasoda Nandan. I need to change the tone, so I figured we'd read the English and then. Thank you. Thanks. His round face is so lovely. His beautiful ears are adorned with hanging jeweled earrings, and his body is nicely anointed with fragrant sandalwood paste. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandanam. His eyes are elongated like lotuses. Peacock feathers adorn his head, and he enchants millions of cupids. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandanam. From the tip of his beautiful nose hangs an elephant pearl. His rows of teeth shine naturally like pearls, and his bodily complexion shines like a fresh rain cloud. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. His hands are adorned with a flute. His majestic gait excels that of the king of elephants, and he is beautified by fine yellow garments. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. His threefold bending form is most beautiful. His nails glow like the moon, and he is adorned by priceless gems. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. His body exudes an extraordinarily enchanting fragrance, and upon his broad chest the Kaustuba gem shines, along with the marks of Sri Vatsa. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. He is Vrindavan's expert paramour, who dresses in a manner to enhance his charming, playful pastimes, and who liberates Indra from his pride. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. The exquisite lover of the damsels of Vraj always bestows happiness upon to that Sri Nandanandana. The exquisite lover of the damsels of Vraj always bestows happiness upon all living entities and enchants their mind. I offer pranama to that Sri Nandanandana. Whoever with faith recites these 8 verses glorifying the son of Nanda will easily conquer the insurmountable ocean of material existence and attain shelter at his 2 lotus feet. Nice. Okay, I'm going to try to do it in a slightly higher tone. Octave. Page 285. Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasana Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Varunandini Vrajendra Suna Sangate Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabajanam Ashoka Brikshavarari Vintana Mandapastite Pravala Vala Palava Prabharurangrikomale Paraboyas Puratkare Prabhutasam Padalaye Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bangura Bruvam Savibramam Sasambramam Driganta Bana Patanai Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Purastako Tishara Dendu Mandare Vichitra Chitra Sancharach Chakora Sha Valochane Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Madon Madati Yovane Pramodamana Mandite Priyanuragaranjite Kalavila Sampandite Ananya Danya Kunjarajakamake Dikovide Kadakarishyasi Hamam Bhakatakshabhajanam Ashesha Baba Dira Hira Hara Bushite Prabhuta Shata Kumbha Kumbha Kumbi Kumbha Sustane Prashasta Manda Hasya Chona Puna So Kyasagare Kadakarisya Sihamam Kripakataksham Bhajanam Vrinada Vala Varari Tarangaranga Dolate Latagra Lasya Lolani Lalochana Valokane Nalanulan Milan Manok Damuk Damohana Shrite Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Suvana Manikanchita Trireka Kandukam Tage Trisutra Mangani Guna Triradna Dipti Diriti Salola Nila Kuntala Prasuna Gucha Gumpite Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Nitamba Bimbalamba Mana Pushpa Mekala Gunem Prashanstadatna Kinkanim Kalapa Madhyam Manjule Arindra Tundra Dandika Varohaso Bhagonuke Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Aneka Mantra Nara Manjunu Purara Vaskarat Samajaraja Hamsavam Shanikvanati Gaurave Vilala Hema Vadari Vidam Vicharu Chankrame Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Ananta Koti Vishnu Lokanam Rapadma Jarchite Himadrija Pundo Najam Virincha Javara Prade Apada Siddhi Redi Dasa Padangulinoke Kadakarishyasi Hamam Kripakatakshabhajanam Makeshvari Kriyeshvari Swareshvari Sureshvari Trivera Bharateshvari Brahmana Shashaneshvari Rameshvari Kshameshvari Pramodakananeshvari Vrajeshvari Vrajadipe Shiradike Namostute Viti Mamad Bhutam Stavam Nishamya Banunam Dini Karotu Santatam Janam Kripakatakshabhajanam Bhaveta Deva Sanchitam Trirupakarmanashanam Bhaveta Dabrajendra Sunumandana Praveshanam Kadakarishatvihamam Rakatakshabhajanam Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Ashtasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe, Ashtasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe. Ashtasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe. So it means of the 8 sakis, Ashtasaki, she is the principal, Shiromani, the crest jewel, Shiromani, the topmost jewel. O Srimati Radhika, who are glorified by great sages, O you who dispel the lamentation of the 3 worlds, whose lotus face blossoms with a humorous smile, and who sports in the Nikunjas, O beloved daughter of King Vrishabhanu, O you who consort with the son of the King of Braj, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are present in a pavilion made of creepers that are entwined around Ashoka trees, whose beautiful tender reddish feet have the luster of coral and newly sprouting reddish leaves, and whose raised hand grants benedictions and fearlessness. O abode of infinite opulence, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who on the stage of amorous sports, in the course of an auspicious discussion, express amazement by curving your eyebrows like bows, then suddenly firing the arrows of your sidelong glances, piercing the son of Nanda with amorous delusion and bringing him under your perpetual control. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you whose radiant and fair form resembles lightning, gold, and champak flowers, whose lotus face defeats the splendor of the effulgence of millions of autumnal moons, and whose eyes, restless like those of a young chakora bird, make various astonishing expressions at each moment. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are intoxicated by your youthfulness, who are decorated with the delightful ornament of sulky anger, who revels in your lover's attachment to you, and who are supremely proficient in the art of loving affairs. O you who are the most learned in knowledge of loving sports within the realm of your confidential, auspicious forest groves, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are decorated with the ornaments of Anubhav, such as Hav and Bhav, and a diamond necklace of gravity and gentleness, whose breasts are like water pots made of pure gold, and who resemble the twin mounds on the head of an elephant. O you whose glorious gentle smile is like an ocean full of bliss, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you whose arms are like the tender stems of a lotus swaying in the water's waves, whose glancing blue eyes resembles the tips of the creepers dancing in the breeze, who lure Manmohan to follow you, and upon meeting him steal away his mind and give him shelter in his state of enchantment, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you whose neck is marked with 3 lions like a conch shell, and is adorned with golden necklaces and an auspicious tree sutra, glowing with 3 kinds of brilliant gems. O you whose bluish-black tresses, interwoven with a braid of clusters of flower blossoms, sways to and fro, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you from whose rounded hips hangs a wreath of excellent flowers, and whose charming slender waist a sublime belt of tiny bejeweled bells sweetly rings, and his beautiful thighs taper like the sloping trunk of the king of elephants, when we make the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance. O you whose ankle bells, sweetly resounding with a host of Vedic mantras, resemble the warbling of a flock of royal swans, and whose beautiful gait mocks the movements of a swaying golden creeper, will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are worshipped by Lakshmi Devi, the mistress of unlimited Vaikuntha planets, and who bestows benedictions upon Sri Parvati, Indrani, and Saraswati, even one of the nails on your lotus feet gives rise to an infinite variety of spiritual perfections. O when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O mistress of all kinds of sacrifices, of all activities, of the mantras uttered during yajna, of all the gods, of the teaching of the 3 Vedas, of the enforcement of all scriptural principles, of the goddess of fortune, of forgiveness, and of the delightful forest of Vrindavan, O mistress and empress of Braj, O Srimati Radhika, I offer my pranama unto you. O daughter of Vrishabhanu, upon hearing this wonderful prayer, please make me qualified to perpetually receive your merciful sidelong glance. By your mercy, my 3 types of karma will be destroyed, and at that moment, upon realizing my eternal identity as a Manjari, I will enter the circle of the son of King of Braj and his most dear Sakis. Anybody like to lead Mahamantra? Mahamantra?
Chanting.
Chanting.
Like singing.
Sing.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai, Radha Ramana Hari Gopala Jai Jai, Jai Radha Raman Bihari, Radha Raman Bihari Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Shri Shri Radha Raman Bihari Lal ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Shri Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Shri Shri Gauranitai A.C. Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Shri Shri Sadgurudev ki jai, Shri Narayan Maharaj ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.
Agyanam timirandasya Gyananjana salakaya Chaksurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvodalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Nama Yang Pravrjantam Anupetam Apeta Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruva Juhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedos Tang Sarvabhu Hridayam Muni Manatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Chaptascha Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamayi Tvang Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivami tam bina iti vigyaya radhe tanmay mam charanantike Kripayati yadi radha Badida shesha badha Kema paravashishtam Yadayorme Yadi vadati chakinchip Smeraha soditasrir Dvijavaramani panktya Mukti shuktya tadakyam Shama sundara shikanda shekhar Hasa murali manohara Radhikara sikamam kripanidhe Swapriya charana kinkari kuru Prananatha Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimakabjara Salola Satapada Radhika Padatale Kritastitim Tam Bhajame Rasikendra Shekhar Sambadaya Dashine Trinam Bibo Prartaye Brajamahendra Nandan Astu Mohantabati Balava Janma Janmani Madhispari Priya. If Sri Radha is merciful to me, then unlimited obstacles to my devotion will be removed. There will be nothing superior for me to attain, because I will have received the excellence offered by the paths of both Vaidhi and Rag. If she speaks something while smiling gently, thereby revealing the brilliance of her rows of beautiful pearl-like teeth, what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose murali flute enchants the mind, and who are most expert in relishing ras with Srimati Radhika. O ocean of mercy, please make me a maidservant at the feet of your beloved. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, always eager to taste the nectar of her lotus-like face. O Rasikendra Shekhar, foremost of those who are Rasik, who are situated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one, O Mohan, who enchants the minds of all. Taking a piece of straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha be my dear worshipful. It's interesting that when the battery runs out, nobody can hear anybody. Whereas in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there would be classes of thousands of devotees, and there was no microphone. By higher consciousness, that was possible. Janavi, the consort of Nityananda Prabhu, was the spiritual masteress of thousands and thousands of big personalities like Jiva Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, and she didn't need a microphone. Okay, so here we are in the hellish planets, but we do have a means to get out. There will be a presentation on that. By the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, low-grade living entities, like bugs and mosquitoes, suck the blood of human beings and other animals. Such insignificant creatures are unaware that their bites are painful to the human being. However, first-class human beings, like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, are developed in consciousness, and therefore they know how painful it is to be killed. A human being endowed with knowledge certainly commits sin if he kills or torments insignificant creatures who have no discrimination. The mosquito doesn't know what he's doing when he bites you. The Supreme Lord punishes such a man by putting him into a hell called Kumbhi Paka. I'm sorry, not that one. Anda Kupa. A well. Kup means well, and Anda means blind well. Where he's attacked by all the birds and beasts, reptiles, mosquitoes, lice, worms, flies, and other creatures that he tormented during his life. No one can get away with anything. Killed a mosquito, didn't get away with it. I'm not going to get away with it. Why? Because reptiles, beasts, mosquitoes, lice are all going to attack me and eat me up. In the hell called Anda Koop. They attack him from all sides, robbing him of the pleasure of sleep. Unable to rest, he constantly wanders about in the darkness, Anda. Thus, in Andakoop, his suffering is just like that of a creature in the lowest species. Who's speaking to who? Sukadeva Goswami, the parrot of Radhika, to Parikshit Maharaj, a gopi in the spiritual world. A person is considered no better than a crow if, after receiving some food, he does not divide it among guests, old men, children, but simply eats it himself. After death, he is put into the most abominable hell, known as creamy, like you can remember creamy food, Bhojan, that means eating. Creamy Bhojan. In that hell is a lake which is 800,000 miles wide, long, and it's filled with worms. That was close. He becomes a worm in that lake, and he feeds on other worms there who also feed on him. But he can never die. It just keeps going. What? Yeah. Everybody becomes creamy boga. Unless he atones for his actions before his death. That's why we give them so much opportunity in the form of the holy name, the books, the prasadam, the deity. Unless he atones for his sins before his death, such a sinful man remains in the hellish lake of creamy Bhojan. For as many years as there are yojanas in the width of the lake. How many yojanas is there? 800,000. No, that's 100,000 yojanas is 800,000 miles. Every yojana is 8 miles. So if it's 800,000 miles, it's 100,000 yojans. And that's how many miles the width of the lake is. And that's how many years he has to do this. My dear king, we've been through it many times. but we're so forgetful, like a drunken person who's in a fire. He's not aware that he's suffering. My dear King, a person who in the absence of an emergency, robs a brahmana, or indeed anyone else, of his gems and gold, is put into a hell called Sandangsha. There, his skin is torn and separated by red-hot iron balls and tongs. In this way, his entire body is cut to pieces, but he can't die. His skin is torn and separated by red-hot iron balls and tongs. I don't know what a tong is. I think it's one of those swords. Like a salad tong? In this way, his entire body is cut to pieces, but he can't die. That's where everybody's going who's not Krishna conscious. That's what they're all doing. A man or woman who indulges in sexual intercourse with an unworthy member of the opposite sex is punished after death. We'll find out what unworthy means. By the assistance of Yamaraj in the hell known as Taptasurma. There, such man and woman are beaten with whips. The man is forced to embrace a hot, red-hot iron, woman or man. And at the same time, they're beaten with the whips. Did you see that picture yet?
No, show us.
Okay. Well, here's the person who tortures the insect, and see how all the insects and beasts. Yeah, you can show this one. Huh? Yeah, this is what the lady who cooked meat. This is the child who, quote unquote, innocently, and they're stopping the Sankirtan. This is illicit sex and the hot iron. So, okay, I just need to keep this place. I wish we had slides. Slides are where it's at these days. Yes.
So what about all the sins we committed before finding Krishna consciousness?
So Raga is asking, what about the sins that we've all committed before joining Krishna consciousness? So if we're partly Krishna conscious, 1%, 50%, according to the percentage of Krishna consciousness we're relieved from sins, and we get a summary. What we get is a summary punishment of the law of karma. Like Prabhupada gave a few analogies of that. One is, if a rich man's son commits a sin, more than an offense, a crime. So he has to be punished by the government. But that rich man is a friend of the judge. So for his friend, he would love to just say, it's okay, you're free. But he has to give some fine. So he says, okay, I fine you 1 cent. Not because of the boy, but because of his friend, the rich man. Similarly, if we're connected with a bona fide guru and we're bona fidely practicing Krishna consciousness, then we get what is called a summary punishment of the law of karma. Srila Prabhupada also gave the analogy in a letter because one of his disciples was having some illicit activities, and then the next morning, he was fixing the storefront window of the temple. You know, storefronts have storefront windows. So he was fixing the window, and the window fell on his face and kind of slit his face in half. Then when he was a little better, he wrote to Prabhupada and asked what that was. And Prabhupada again said it's a summary of the law of karma. He said if you turn off a fan, like here we turn off the fans, it doesn't stop as soon as you press the button. It gets slower and slower and dies down gradually. So the karma dies down gradually when we take shelter and follow the principles of Krishna consciousness. And it keeps going down unless we re-plug in the plug. So even if we're doing something Krishna conscious, I'm a devotee. If I do something sinful, I have to, again, suffer that karma. It's stated in the Brahma Samhita, Kamadi Nirdahati Kintu Chabhakti Bhajan. For one who's fully surrendered to me, I remove all of his karma. So devotees, pure devotees, don't suffer any karma. He might say to his disciples, to scare his disciples, that, like Prabhupada said, I am suffering from my disciples' karma. So that is to scare the disciple. If the guru is not a pure devotee, then he will have to suffer for the results of his disciples. Not the whole thing, but something. Yes.
If we go to one of the 100,000 years, will 100,000 years here pass? Or is it like
It's a different conception of time. There is, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. So how about if today you look in the folio and then tell us tomorrow? Would that be okay? Because he has a subtle body, so it's not counted as exactly the same. Is that okay, Raga? So let's see what he means by an unqualified or an unworthy member of the opposite sex. Let's read Prabhupada's purport. Generally, a man should not have sexual relationships with any woman other than his wife. That's the one who's not worthy. He's not his wife. According to Vedic principles, the wife of another man is considered one's mother, and sexual relations are strictly prohibited for one's mother, sister, and daughter. If one indulges in illicit sexual relationships with another man's wife, that activity is considered identical with having sex with one's mother. Vasanti and I know Vasanti and I know a man who he was in jail, and he joined her prison program and became a devotee. And he was in jail for many, many years because of indulgence in sex with his daughter. So even in the material world, it's considered a crime. So therefore, we really want to get out these books. We really want to read the books ourselves. We really want to do the bhajans and pray. So this act is most sinful. The same principle holds for the woman. If she enjoys sex with a man other than her husband, the act is tantamount to having sexual relations with her father or son. Illicit sex life is always forbidden, and any man or woman who indulges in it is punished in the manner described in this verse, which is what? He has to embrace a hot iron woman or man, and at the same time be beaten. Did you show them that picture? You all saw it? Okay. One time Prabhupada said, illicit or licit sex life causes troubles and misery. If it's not for having Krishna conscious children. A person who indulges in sex indiscriminately, even with animals, is taken after death to the hell known as Vajrakantaka Shalamali. In this hell, there is a silk cotton tree full of thorns as strong as thunderbolts. The agents of Yamaraj hang the sinful man on that tree and pull him down forcibly. So he has to go through all those thorns, so that the thorns severely tear up his body. Then Prabhupada's purport says, they know all these goings on in the material world. The sexual urge is so strong that sometimes a man indulges in sexual relations with a cow or a woman with a dog. Such men and women are pulled into the hell called Vajrakantika Shalamali. Next verse. A person who is born into a responsible family, such as a Kshatriya or a member of royalty or a government servant, but who neglects to execute his prescribed duties according to religious principles, and who thus becomes degraded, falls down at the time of death into the river known as Vaitarani. This river, which is a moat. You know what a moat is? Some water surrounding this particular hell. Which is full of ferocious aquatic animals. When a sinful man is thrown, and do you know that it's also violence not to preach? There's a list in the Bhagavad Gita of violence, non-violence. And it says that if anyone neglects to tell others about Krishna, this is also violent. The aquatics there immediately begin to eat him, but because of his extremely sinful life, he does not leave the body. He constantly remembers his sinful activities and suffers terribly in that river, which is full. You ready? Huh? Yes, it is full of aquatic animals. But you know what else it's full of? Stool, urine, pus, blood, hair, nails, bones, marrow, flesh, and fat. And you're in that gross river. If you do what?
You are a public servant who fails at their
Duty religious to follow religious principles, not just some karmi duty. Filled. So what's a major remedy? Major remedy, Harinam and book distribution and prasad distribution. Like you saw those boxes of books. Now the boxes of books are being stamped with our address, website, phone number, Santi? Phone number and so on, address. And here is Spanish Bhagavad Gita. Isn't that wonderful? And this has all the pictures and, of course, all the information. And each chapter, Capilo Trace, has a beautiful picture on top of Krishna's chariot. And in the middle, it has all the wonderful pictures, like this one says, the humble sage sees equally the Brahmin, the dog eater, which is the Chandala, and the cow. Universal form, the horses with the senses, everything is there. And you can show the people. And this city is at least 60% Spanish. And we do get a lot of Russian visitors. And this is, I can't read it, but it'll help a lot of Russians. Still can't read it. And still can't read it. But it's something good. Nah. But it has a picture of Lord Chaitanya on top. And this is very wonderful. A treasury of holy days with the descriptions of many holy days like Nityananda Trayodasi, our Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, Advaita Acharya's appearance day, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day, so many. So anyone, like even you all here, many of you are new, you can get to know them and their glory. And then, even if you remember them at times that's not their appearance days, they're giving so much mercy. And this is fantastic. It's Upadeshamrit with 3 chapters at the end of the first 3 verses, which is called Bhakti Alok, with fabulous descriptions by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur of the extent of the meaning of these verses. Like you'll be surprised to know how extensive Prajalpa is. Like if somebody's hearing the news, reading a newspaper, what do you call that scrolling? Doom scrolling. These are all varieties of Prajalpa. What does Prajalpa do? It steals the intelligence, the human intelligence. Yes, Raga? Yeah, he didn't always read a newspaper. He on rare occasions read a newspaper. We're talking about Srila Gurudev and Srila Bharati Maharaj as well. But it is totally different when a pure devotee does it. I mean, like I remember me and Vasanti went with Srila Gurudev to Niagara Falls in Canada. And it looked like just some sightseeing. But then he was glancing over all the living entities there in the water and the air and blessing them with his glance. One time one of his disciples asked him at the LA airport, "What do you do when you look at us with the big blue eyes?" He said, "I'm giving prem," coming out of his eyes. So whatever he does, he's benefiting. Like one time, Vasanti had led a group of ladies to what do you call it? The Olympics. The Olympics were in, sorry? Commonwealth game in Delhi. And then she presented the weeks, or however long it was, bag of rupees, paper rupees, and coin rupees. And she gave the big bag to Srila Gurudev, and then he went like this into the bag. And we know he was blessing all the people who gave all the dirty paper and dirty coins. And, yes, then this is a masterpiece, Walking with a Saint. Srila Gurudev told one devotee to make books of each year's morning walks. He said, I've given so many important things there, and everyone will benefit so much. Then the next year, Prabhupada, Gurudev told me and Vasanti to do the books. And so I said to him, you already told somebody else to do it, so why are you asking us? So he said, that person will take a day in the life of Brahma. So then we did 4 years, especially the first year, 2008. There's an amazing katha explaining the deep meaning behind the Kaliya, dancing on the Kaliya pastime. And everybody who reads this says that they feel like they're there on the walk. So ladies couldn't go. Here's a walk. Ladies couldn't go, but ladies and men who weren't there feel like they're there. It's a series of questions and answers. Very interesting. And then there's the speciality of the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he came to give. And it's a short read, but extremely deep. Because that's why this is the picture Prabhupada brought from India. So it's very deep because that's why we were created. And that's why we have the temple, and that's why we go out to accept and distribute the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you know, our minds, did you ask your question yet? No, go ahead.
What was the process for making the walk book? Like, how did you do it?
The process for making the walk book. Well, Brajanath Prabhu was Gurudev's secretary at the time, just like you might have seen morning walks with Srila Prabhupada and my godbrother Harikesh. He had this big, or Satsvarup, they had these big recorders, and they would, record Prabhupada's walks. Similarly, Bhajanath Prabhu used to record Gurudev's walks. And so we had all the recordings. And so, Vasanti, you were one of the main typists, right? She would transcribe or get others to transcribe. And then a team of us did the editing and proofreading. And Vasanti sent out a message to the world asking if anybody had photographs of the places where there were the morning walks, and also we included darshans.
It's a lot of hours to transcribe. It's like at least 365, almost 365 hours a year. So were you transcribing it every day right after the walk, or did you, no?
This order came in 2008.
In 2008, 9.
We gave him the first walk book in 2010.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so it was,
And then after he left, a few more years. So Manashiksha, we all have terrible minds. What time am I stopping? So that you could have 5 minutes. Okay. So very quickly, we ran through some of the hells. Krishna himself was taking a trip through the hells. And he's thinking, what can I do for them? This is horrible, even though he created it. I know I'll become a day, and anyone who observes the rules and regulations, fasting and kirtan regulations of this day, he can be liberated from these hells. So Ekadasi is very important. It's not a day. So our minds are all bad. These are prayers or instructions to the mind, written by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And like, oh mind, don't engage in mundane talk, which destroys the intelligence, the treasure of one's intelligence. Rather, and also don't engage in talks of impersonal realization, because that's like a tigress devours the soul. And don't engage even in worship of Lakshmi Narayan, because then you, like you think that God is not a person, but he's all-pervading it. Doesn't have any, can't see, can't hear, but he's all-pervading. And you want to merge into that all-pervading oneness. So we actually are getting it's not just by our power that we're instructing the mind, but we're doing this following the words of Raghunath Das Goswami. So by his power, the prayers work. And here is Gopi Geet. In the first printing of it, Srila Gurudev sang Gopi Geet, and we had at the back a little slip CD was in there. And Gurudev also gave two lectures on the Rasa Leela. And there's many, you've all seen this book. There's many beautiful paintings. And here's a very beautiful painting when Krishna came back to the gopis. That was done by Manjari. Very excellent. And when Vaijayanti Mala and I were both editing this book, we asked Gurudev, how many copies should we make? Because some devotees were saying it's just for a few, advanced devotees. And so Gurudev said 10,000. We asked because we wanted to know how far to go with the editing. But Gurudev's philosophy is all for all books for all people, whether they're astic, he said, Gnostic, religious, atheist, whatever they are, all books for all. Somebody will buy it, put it on their shelf, in their Almira, and then somebody else will pick it up and read it. About 20 years after this lady bought a Krishna book, or more, she didn't read it, she just put it way up high on her shelf, and 20 or so years later, her son asked, what did he ask, Vasanti? Who's God? And then she said, oh, okay. And she pulled down the book and gave it to him. And the word Krishna, it has 3 dots. And he looked at it, and because of his previous life, he thought it was far out, and he said, cool, 3 dots. Then he became Gurudev's disciple. And now he's helping, and he was the Pujari of Tulsi when he was here. And he said he'll be back soon. He just messaged me. This is Lord of Sweetness, Krishna's childhood pastimes. It's good for adults and it's good for kids. And here's another year, 2007. If you want to go read this, if you want to go on a morning walk with Gurudev, and also distribute it. This is Radha Krishna Ganadesha Deepika, who's who. Um, just everybody in Goloka Vrindavan, who they are, how they dress, what service do they do, even the flute, what service does the flute do, what service does the necklace do, what's the name of the necklace. Necklace also has a name. Everything is personal. Now this if you want to develop Raganuga Bhakti and then Ragatmika Bhakti and become an associate of the Lord, following in the footsteps of his eternal associates, this is the book to read. There's a book called Ragvartma Chandrika. Did you order that one too? Ragvartma Chandrika is here? Great. There's a book called and here's another year. This is the last year. Unless you have transcendental vision, then it keeps going on. No, it's not here. No, it's not here. Yeah, so Gurudev was very, very determined that this book be published. It's called Ragvartma Chandrika, which means Ragvartma, the Raganuga Bhakti. The path of Raganuga Bhakti, Chandrika, the moonbeam that if you're in the darkness and in a dark forest and there's a moonbeam, then you can see a little path. So that's what this book is. And to make it even easier, he had some darshans where my godbrothers were asking him questions about the book. And so it's like a darshan back and forth. It's a Q&A, so it's even easier. Especially because Gurudev's English is simple. And this is the hidden path of devotion. And anyone who's online, you can always order it. And Vasanti will send it in very short time. And this is Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. You know, he was beaten in 22 marketplaces because he was chanting and the Muslim government wanted to punish him. All of his skin came off, his bones and marrow, and he was just bones and blood, broken bones. And still he was chanting. And he was feeling fine. And then they threw him in the river, and he came out from the other side of the river, fine, like a young man. And last but not least is sage, next to last but not least, sage and seekers, which is especially for non-devotees, and devotees of course, but non-devotees can easily appreciate it because the devotee who published this, what's her name? Basanti? I forget her name. Sulata. Yeah, she's one of the team of GVP, and she found the simplest quotes that you could possibly find of Srila Gurudev's and got the book together. And this, of course, we've had and that we have again is Shiva Tattva. Gurudev asked for this book, or Vasanti asked Gurudev if we could publish it because he gave several lectures about Lord Shiva, especially on his appearance day. And then lots of trouble to produce it, lots of trouble to ship it. But when we showed Gurudev the 5, advance copies in Hawaii, he said, Shiva Tattva has come. And he went like that. Okay, very beautiful presentation. And there's, so many people in the world worship Lord Shiva. So this helps them understand who he is. The Shiva's devotees don't really know what we knew. Huh? I'm sorry? You mean they can't see the titles? Is that what you're saying? All right, so here they are. Just to run through them very quickly. Are we zoomed out? Huh?
Because I think better be as Rabbi said, the comment section, because
You can't just move the thing back. Do whatever you have to do. Okay, so now, next, Shiva Tattva, Sage and Seekers, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, Hidden Path of Devotion, this is amazing. Raghavarma Chandrika, Morning Walks 2010. Am I going on the screen? Radha Krishna Ganadesha Deepika, Morning Walks 2007. Prabhupada said these books are not just for selling, they're for reading. Gopi Geet. When I asked Gurudev if he could sing Gopi Geet, he said, there are so many better kirtaniyas in our temple. And I said, yeah, but it has to be sung by a gopi. So he agreed. Manashiksha, the speciality of the gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Another year, 2009, Upadeshamrita plus 3 chapters of Bhakti Alok. The Treasury of Holy Days. In Russian and Spanish, Bhagavad Gita. And we also just got a new shipment of Way of Love and Secrets of the Undiscovered Self. I think millions of copies have already been printed of those two. If Basanti just called out, she's busy putting stickers on the books. If anybody orders from her right now, she'll give them a special deal. Okay. So we've left the hellish planets for a while, and now we're going to close the live stream, and we're going to have a special presentation. So bye everybody. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. We're going to have a special presentation by our sponsors, our president, Vasanti Devi Dasi Dumplings, and our treasurer,